Hello folks and welcome to another video. Let's continue the guide series I'm trying to put forth here. So we were just talking about which heroes you should have, especially in early game to mid game, and in which area you are using them. And we are trying to put forth a team which can beat 2-6 in the end, yeah. So now, as I said in the video before, we are trying to discuss Relics now. So as for Relics, the first thing I should say about this is that you should always destroy the normal Relics. So in your options here, you take the normal and select all of them and you destroy them. So as you can see, I don't have any, so he won't select any. They are not useful at all. They only give you raw stats, like you have a sword, it gives you attack damage, you have a staff, it gives you spells power, you have an armor, it gives you HP. This is very, very simple relics, which we really don't need. We don't need them at all. Destroy them. Don't use any resources for them. Okay? So let's see. Now let's look at which relics we should always have. Now looking at the upper left corner here, those two relics, they are for free. The game gives us these relics for free. We can use them here or there. They are not bad. But let's talk now about which relics you should buy and upgrade really, which are very important. So talking first about invasion, I don't know where you guys stand with your invasion progress, how many chapters you have beaten on king level, etc. But me personally, on this account, the first relics I was buying and upgrading is the crown, because in a lot of invasion chapters, the enemies will stun you, prevent you from generating MP, prevent you from healing, deplace you, drag you, all of this stuff. And most of these struggles will cause you to lose the chapter. So the crown relic here, you have 2 crowns and you can select 2 heroes which will be immune to crowd control. They will not be able to do this stuff with you. And therefore the crown is, in my opinion, very, very important. You should have it. And then the second one for invasion is the teleportation scroll. It will also help you in a lot of chapters where you need to reach the backline of the enemies, but you can't. And they will kill you because they are too strong. So there are many, many chapters I was beating with teleport scroll, where you just teleport behind the enemies and you kill their most valuable damage monsters, and therefore you will finally win the chapter. And keeping that in mind, even though I used it in a few of even the first invasion chapters and also the early second invasion chapters, this relic is also been used in the very, very late invasion chapters. I think it is 2.9, where you can have a Zoyun strategy or whatever, where it will still be useful. So having a teleport scroll is very important for you. Then, because we talked about the Berliner team, we also used Chung-A. There are also people who are using Kanak. For these heroes, which are spell power heroes, we need to have an ancient staff. It is very important to have this. It gives you more MP and more skill damage for the cost of a little bit attack speed. This is very important if you are playing the mage type heroes like Berliner, like Kanak, like Chung-A and others. And then it's a very basic relic. You should have this at least once. It is very, very common. Is the mask, where your highest tier hero will just be duplicated. This also pairs very, very well with the scope relic. When you are playing Hansi, you're putting her on the field, you're having her at your highest tier hero, then you're putting both of your Hansis, the main and the mask one, into the scope field. So having scope if you are playing Hansi is also very important. I don't even have it on this account. I think I have a golden one here. There it is. I have it. Okay. So you should have a mask and you should have a scope if you are playing Hansi. So the insignia, you don't really need this. You don't need to buy this. This was meta like 2 years ago maybe. The game has changed a lot. You don't really need this. You can also ignore some relics like the elixir you don't need, and those I was just doing them for fun. You don't need to craft them. Talking about arena, the helmet is very good in arena, but other than that, you should not use it. And the shield is also good in arena. It could possibly be used in some invasions. It is good to have it, but it has no priority. Now, talking about not only invasion, but our main target as an alliance is the raid. In raid, you should 100% definitely always have the fear and the void relic. Even though they are useful in some of the invasion levels, like for example when we are beating 2-6 with Berliner, I will use the fear relic. It is very strong. But the main target of those relics are raid. You need to have them. This has priority, and afterwards you take the void, because void is a little bit harder to trigger to have the max damage, but fear is definitely the top tier relic. You need to have it. And then the greed ring, it is also a top tier relic. You mostly use it in raid. You can also use it in invasion. I wouldn't say it has the highest priority for you to have, but you also should have it if possible. Yeah, did I forget anything? Let's also talk about where you get those relics. So let's check the arena shop. This is the reason you should play a little bit of arena at least. Just take your Hansi, do any team. Everyone is possible to have a few wins in the early game with a Hansi team. It is very easy, you can see. If you didn't play arena at all, try it. You will get a few of the currency, and then you will be able to buy, for example, here the crown, which you will only get of the arena shop, and also the teleport scroll. There are some other relics like the spear. I wouldn't talk about it right now. Most of the others are useless except if you are playing arena, but those two are very important. There's the scroll and the crown. This is what you want to where is the crown? This is what you want to buy out of the arena shop. And then we have the common relic shop here in the corruption shop. Here you find the greed ring. This you can ignore. The hammer can be useful. It has no priority. You shouldn't focus on it. This blood sword is also very strong. It also doesn't have too much of a priority. So what I'm saying is, the giant you can ignore, the mage you can also ignore, and the hero you can also ignore. Then the ring, the greed ring, has the highest priority. You should have it. And the next priority is the blood sword. You don't need it for now, but it can be useful. And then you have the hammer, which can also be useful. But if we are talking about you have less resources and you need to be careful how to use them, etc., the only relic here you should take is the greed ring. Upgrade it. You will need it in raid, and it is also handy in invasion. Scrolling through it, let me just see what we need. This not, this not, this not, we don't need it, don't need. The only ones we need here is the mask and the void. So summarizing, void, mask, and the greed ring are the most important relics here. 3 of them. So we talked about 2 in arena shop, crown and teleportation scroll, and 3 in corruption shop, greed ring, void, and mask. Every other relic you are getting out of the summons. You just go here, you choose the relic chests, and you either have some of those and summon them, or you just go ahead and take like 20 summons for 10,000 or whatever it is. So as you can see here, for example, you found a fear relic here in gold, which is very nice. And then we have the ancient stuff here, which you can also use for upgrades if you already have it. You find the scope here. The shield is okay. This is only good for Neria. We talk about that another time maybe. And then all of the standard relics we will disenchant in a second. I will summon one more to showcase this. You can even, if you have a lot of gold and want to summon a lot, you can also go ahead and summon for, I don't know how much money I have. 60,000, let's see. Let me summon 200. For 100,000. Let's go. So we talked about 2 relics in the arena shop, 3 relics in the corruption shop, and every other relic you will get from summons here. Also, because you need to upgrade them later in the blacksmith, you will need everything what you are getting here, the charts and those things, like you will need all of them. So summoning some relic chests will also be very important later. And summoning for 100,000 gold, if you have it, you get a lot of stuff. So I can recommend do that sometimes. But now, after you have summoned, the first thing you should do, what I was saying in the beginning, as you can see here, all the swords and the armors I have, you go to destroy all of the normal relics. It is 1,032 pieces here. I will destroy them for 37,000 dust. This is very important way to do it, because later on in the Dominion, you will use this dust you will use this dust to always buy this stuff here. It is very, very strong and very important to craft relics later. You will every week need to buy out this shop. And you can always only do that if you have enough dust. And you get the dust from summoning relics and destroying the normal ones. Am I explaining now how to enchant your relics, or do I do a separate video? Okay, let me show this really quick. I'm trying to hold it very simple. So what are we taking as an example? Do I have any relic and still need to craft, or do I have everything? Let me see really quick. Okay, let's take the hammer as an example. It doesn't have a high priority, the blacksmith hammer, but it can be used, especially now where we are in a lot of invasion chapters. We are searching the +2 silver, and therefore we need the 15 blacksmith. So there is arguably some space to use it, but it really doesn't have a lot of priority. Don't prioritize this relic if you don't have enough resources, but if you have the resources, you can definitely craft it. So now I'm just choosing the relic here, and I'm crafting it with 100 dust. Then I'm changing the, how is it called? The thing here. I'm going to combine, pressing the arrow here, choosing this. And if you have some of those, you can just use them. If you don't have them, you need to use other relic pieces. So then I'm choosing the silver one, taking, combining, choosing the gold one, combining. And this is how easy you can get a max level relic or a max rank relic if you have enough resources. I'm also showing you if you don't have the resources. In this case, you need to craft more copies of it. Then go to combine. I mean, you will already know this. Most of you people will know this, right? And then you will combine the bronze ones. You have a silver one. Then you will do more silver ones. You will have a gold one, etc. You know this, right? So now let's also talk about the how to get the relic stats. So choosing my hammer here, I now have, for example, the max amount of attack speed here on slot 1. So I can lock this. If I press it here and it gets dark, it's locked. So every other stat which I didn't lock will now get re-rolled once I press it here. Okay? And now we are searching the stats we need. Yes? So now you also need to know how to choose this. So looking at your barrack, or at my barrack here, you can see that I chose on slot 1 to have all of my spell power. And on slot 4 I have all of my attack speed. Maybe this is not optimally chosen, but the main thing is that once you choose a slot, you should put all of the stats on this specific slot. So for early game, it's maybe not even optimal for me to have 2 different slots, but for late game it will be very important. And I can talk about that another time. But if you are having like attack speed on slot 1 and also SP on slot 1, this is not a bad thing for early game. Later game you shouldn't have this optimally, but it's not that bad. You can still choose it. So going back here, I have my SP on slot 1 and my attack speed on slot 4. But there is also a reason why I should also have attack speed on slot 1. And the reason for that is that the enchanter heroes like Seiyung, Lunaire and Mano, they will convert your stats. If you look at higher levels, they will take, for example, here Seiyung will take 120% of her SP on converted to your carry. So this is the reason why I give the SP for my enchanter hero, so she will convert it and give more to it to Belina. But the reason why it's not good for early game is that in some invasion chapters, you will just have your starter hero or your vanguard, for example, on Belina or Belina, and then you will summon her, only play with her, and while you are not having Seiyung yet, all of the stats will be gone. And this is the reason why there is an argument for it to be bad in early game if you don't know what you do. So you should have the attack speed also on slot 1 as an early game player. So when you summon the Belina, she will have all of the SP and all of the attack speed at once. But if you are a very experienced player and know what you do, then you will have the SP on your enchanter hero, you will summon the Belina, and after you have all of your Belina copies, you will concentrate on getting Seiyung and to understand that she is the one who gives the sets to Belina, ultimately. I hope you understood what I said there. So let me check again what I can still teach on enchanting your relics, or changing the stats, however you call it. Now you choose the slot of the stat you want to have. Let me summon a few more here to see this. And now also these things here come in, which are very important. So let's first summon without those and see if I can get one row with stats and the selected slot which I'm happy with. Which would be attack speed on slot 4 or SP on slot 1, or even SP on slot 1 and 4 is also very good. Okay, that's not good. Okay, now I found SP on slot 1. So there is a few things to determine if this is good or not. I will keep this. And I can tell you that this first row I found here is the optimal thing you can find, because I already chose my SP to be slot 1, and then also it is the maximum amount of SP I can get. You can see this at the symbol, because the symbol now, it shows a little bit of a like question mark or a stuff symbol, yes? And I can show you if you roll this, if it is not the maximum amount, it will show here, it will be three like arrows or however you call it. It is not maximum. If I re-roll here, you can see it is 2 arrows, it is 0 arrow. So this is the lowest amount, this is the second, like this is on 2 level, but the first one is on max level, yes? So in optimal cases, you only want to keep those stats which have at least 3 arrows, like rank 3. Rank 3 is decent, but everything lower is really, really bad. So you could still keep it if it's the correct slot, but most of the time you want to have something better. So the first thing I got here was really, really perfect for me. So now let's reroll a little bit more. Here, for example, this is max, also a max slot for 2 slots. 28% is the best you can have for 1 slot, and 22 is the best thing you can have for 2 slots. So this would be very, very good if this was on slot 4 or not slot 5. Or if I'm going from left to right here, it is a slot 3 and 6. And I can show you why here. Let's keep this. And let's choose the hammer here. Let's go and just take it now. So what you can see here is that this 22 of SP percent, it will go on Mirsil now. It will go also on Seiyung, which is nice, but the rest goes on Mirsil, and that is bad because I already chose the slot 3, for example, for my, or let's take, for my attack speed. if I choose this, for example, I have my attack speed on slot 4, and now the other SP goes on slot 2. Sorry, it's a little bit confusing because I always go from right to left, but you can also count from left to right. So in this case, it would be slot 3 and slot 6. I hope you understood a little bit. It was a little bit confusing. I don't have a script or something. I'm just trying to show you in case you people don't know, because I remember when I was starting to change Relics, I didn't understand the system at all. So the last thing I want to show, which is very important, and then I need to end this video, it goes way too long already, is when you choose your Relic here, and you found something like this, you can polish it. Meaning, if you have enough resources, you can switch the positioning if you have the right amount of these stones. But there are some rules when you should use it and when you shouldn't. So if you are rich and you have so many resources gathered because you're playing this game for a long time, then just do it. It doesn't matter. Like, let's say you're a little bit lazy, you don't want to wait much, you don't want to reroll much, you just change the positioning. But if you don't have enough resources, if you are relatively early game, those stones are very, very valuable. And for this reason, what you want to do is, you want to first have decent stats on your Relic. So let's say I keep this, but I'm not changing the positioning instantly. Now I'm using the golden stone to summon. And now I can also choose, for example, this stuff to guarantee SP stats. This is also a way of getting my stats like faster. Let's see if I can get something useful here. Okay, now I found the 19% on slot 1, for example, which is very nice. I will keep this. And then the last row I will do with the diamond stuff. I will choose this. And this is also a little bit of luxury. If you don't have enough resources, you should do it with the smaller copies of your Relic and invest some gold. It depends on which state of the game you are, but you need to understand how the Relic system works. This is why I was... Oh, this is perfect. This is the perfect roll here. It is slot 1, or in this case slot 3 and slot 6 if you're going from left to right, and it's the maximum amount. So this is perfect. So now, I'll show you how I was re-rolling this Relic. The only thing I need to do is, because this is bad, I need to switch the positioning. I will use my stones, and now I have a very, very good Relic. Of course, in late game, if you're optimizing everything, you should have Relics which are completely 1 slot and 2 slot and not mixed, but you can in early mid-game definitely use a mixed one. And this example here is perfect for a good Relic for early mid-game. I hope you understood how it works approximately. Also recently they were inventing the guaranteed reroll. I don't know how it's called in English because the game is right now in German here. But then you can use your stats and you can put them all here and you use your 4 stones. So this is also very important, and don't waste them on bad Relics. You need to choose the right Relics. I hope, like whoever was as crazy to watch the whole video, I hope the information helped a little bit. And if you have questions, just ask. I will end this here, and next round we will talk about legacies and accessories, and then we can go finally build our team and beat 2-6. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.